There is no death, there is only life. Chapter 3, A Trip to the Other Side. In this world of ours, thanks to technology, communication, and modern medicine, there are more than 15 million people in the United States alone who have had an after-death experience. That is, they die, they see glimpses of the other side, and then they return to this life to tell us what they saw. Those people, surprisingly, 15 million of them alive today who have had this experience, none of them wanted to come back here. They all had such a remarkable, wonderful, and beautiful experience that they didn't want to leave it, even though they may have had families and loved ones here. Many of them were angry for years that they had to come back, a good sign that where we're going is good. And here are a few examples of the wonder and the power in these words that these people use who have been there to tell us of their description so that we can see what happened to our loved one. So listen to me, if you would, in these words of those people who have had this experience on the other side of life. They say there is a tunnel of light that is magnetic, a quick, speedy trip to full light, not like any light on earth, but filled with color. 1,000 words, all describing love, wouldn't come close to the feeling of this love. Those people who have had this experience tell us their entire life is relived in an instant. Every single experience they've ever had, every emotion they've ever felt. And not just from their point of view, but from the point of view of the other people with whom they have interacted in their lives. They tell us that in this light, there is a force, a welcome, a being that is loving, peaceful, benign, beyond imagination, which is a powering love into me, knowing everything about me and loving me completely anyway. This light is described as a wonderfully healing, nurturing, and peaceful place. And so we find that this day of judgment that we've heard about all of our lives is not a day of condemnation and punishment. It is a time in which we look back on our lives and we see that all the joys, all the beauties, all the wonders that were ours then were ways that without ever using words, we subconsciously said to ourselves, that's me. That is the experience of who I really am. And then all the difficulties of our life, which come to us in two different ways. First, by our own choosing, we think, this is going to be good. This is going to bring something beneficial to me. I'm going to get something out of this. It will enrich me. And sometimes others look at us and say, what a sinner. What an evil person. But I didn't do it to be bad. I did it because I thought something good was going to come out from it, even if it didn't. And then there are those things that happen to us that come out of the blue. We think they're totally unexpected. We think to ourselves, how can this happen to me? I've tried to lead a good life. It just isn't fair. And it isn't fair. And this happens to every single person. It happens, sometimes our love life is betrayed. Sometimes friendship is betrayed. Sometimes we lose all our possessions or we go bankrupt. Sometimes we are ill or a family member is ill or dies. Things happen to us, all kinds of us. We all get this. We all get it in different qualities, different flavors, different experiences. But everybody gets their bucket of troubles poured on their head. And in those things, those who have been to this experience after death tell us that they look back then and they see that all those things were ways in which living through them, even if they didn't see it right away, they ultimately come to the experience and the understanding that those were ways in which they were able to say, that was not me. That was not my best self. That was not the experience of who I am. And so I have to reject that if I don't want to be hurting again by doing it. Maybe I'm not that. Maybe I'm this other thing. And so in all those difficulties, they find that those problems were ways in which they said, that's not me. That's not the experience of me. And it led them to more passionately go after who they are. And so then, those who have been there, who have had this kind of experience, look back and say, this was all good. Everything in this life was a gift so that we can discover who we are, and a gift so that we can discover who we're not. Those loved ones, all of them, and my loved one, this person that I love, she knew then, at that moment of truth, when she graduated from this life into the next, that everything she had in this life was a gift, all a gift. And then, at the end of this tunnel of light, those who have died, been there and come back, tell us that they always meet their dead friends and relatives, whom they describe as well, vital, and alive. Some of them are not just on that other side when we get there to see them. Some of them come to help in the transition in this life, to help us pass over. This could have happened to her. It most probably did. And so just like in this life, when we are born, we are in the womb, it's warm, and if we had our druthers, we'd just stay there because we're not sure where we're going to, or what it's going to be like, or if it's going to be as pleasant as this environment we're in. And then when we're born, not much we can do about it, out we come. And when we're born, there are people there to hug us and kiss us and say, oh, we're so glad to see you. Oh, what a wonder it is. And they shower us with affection. And so it is when my loved one passed from this life into the next. She knew what she had here. She may not have felt ready to go into the next one. She may have wanted to stay here because she had friends and family. She had me. But she went anyway. And when she got there, there they were, those other people who had loved her earlier and never stopped, waiting to greet her with hugs and kisses. We're so happy to see you. We missed you. We're so happy to be with you. And so there she was to see those she loved. And when it's my turn, she's going to be there for me. She's going to help me transition over. She's going to be there when I enter into this new and better life to help me see how it works. It'll be good. Those who have had this experience, what we call this near-death experience, those who have been there never fear death. Never. For they have discovered that there is nothing to fear. People who have been through this after-death experience tell the rest of us what they know now to be a fact, that there is no death. There is just a change in life. And to hear them, then, is to believe in mankind's most eternal hope, a life of untold joy and happiness, exactly the life promised to us by Jesus and those other masters who tell us about this life. And so like this one that I love, this person that I love so well, I too will walk through this shadow of death, and I will find what she found, which is joy, and that life is a doorway to death. Death is a doorway to joy.